Welcome, Adeola. We really appreciate your leadership and taking the time to do this interview with us today.
Thank you. I appreciate being here.
As always, we like to start by acknowledging the original stewards of the various lands that we're on, as well as our ancestors, those who toiled without compassion or compensation, and our elders whose shoulders we continue to stand on as we build, share, and learn together for our collective liberation. So can we start off by just having you introduce yourself to our viewers and our listeners if they're not aware of who you are?
Okay, thank you. Thank you for having this chat with me. My name is Adeola Oladimeji. I'm the founder and the CEO of Ascendi Capital. Ascendi Capital is a private investment management company with a focus on real assets and as well as doing buy-side advisory. So our company more or less focuses on the global market when it comes to advisory services. But in Canada, we're based in Canada and we focus primarily on when it comes to asset management or asset acquisitions, we primarily focus on real assets.
That's good. So can you tell us a bit about the origin of your work and how you're disrupting the ecosystems here in Canada?
So my background is in private equity. I've been in this space for the past 17 years plus now. I moved to Canada in 2019, early 2019. The space where we are right now, we are looking to help accredited investors within our communities to build generational wealth through real assets. We think that what we've seen in the market and based on the interview we had is the fact that some of the people within our community don't understand what it means to invest in real assets. And they don't understand that having ownership is far more important than having a job. There's nothing wrong with having a job. But if I have a job or you still have ownership in an enterprise that is growing, that is flourishing, and where the asset is protected, this is why we do investing in real assets, because real asset, the asset is to a large extent de-risked. I'm using a lot of terminology. But I'm trying to give it down. Where your investment is protected with real assets. So when you say real asset, for instance, you're talking about like a apartment building. You're talking like something that involves the land. Let's just put it that way.
Okay.
And that's what we're trying to do in this space, to create that opportunity for people within our community or people that are not privy to this kind of investment opportunity, to give them that access, that vehicle for them to grow their wealth, to protect. The first thing is preservation, protect and grow the wealth. That's what we do.
That sounds good. Can you share like your complete mission and vision with us, the Ascendi Capital?
So our vision is, I think I just make reference to it right now, is for us to help people within our community to build generational wealth, right? By investing in assets that protects their investment, their money, their hard-earned money. So that's our focus, to build that intergenerational wealth, so that they have a legacy that they can live on to their children, their children's children can have something to hold on to and say, okay, this is, and that will create more opportunities for them.
Absolutely. Can you explain how important impact investing and philanthropic innovation is to the work that you do?
It's very important. What we're doing right now, we think is impact investing as well, because we are catering to the less or the minority community. We think that's impact as well. And when it comes to engaging on employing people as well, we, in one of our assets right now, full of minorities, no minority as an employee. It wasn't designed that way, but that will happen because we can see this as an opportunity for us to help them to grow their skill set, to understand how to run a business, and to know that, okay, there's an opportunity if somebody like myself who own this, who run this, it gives them that inspiration that they could do it themselves. They could do it. I'm not better than them. We talk all the time, I'm not better than them. We have the same skin. It's just about mindset, to put them in that right mindset. So that's the way we are doing our own impact investing, by investing within the community, not just by buying something, but investing in people. That's how we're doing right now.
Absolutely. So what inspires you most about your current work model at Ascendi?
I think it comes back to background, right? Considering where I'm coming from, I'm not from a rich home, from a very humble background. And I realized and I could see what my parents, what they went through. And I made a decision that, okay, I'm not going to go through that. I don't want my kids to go through that. And everybody within my community, I don't want them to go through that. So what can we do to make sure that we do better and we can leave a legacy for our kids when we are no longer, or even when we're still here, but something that they could be proud of? I felt, okay, doing an investment that protects, because I've seen people make millions of dollars and 2 years, 3 years down the line, you realize that, okay, they are not that they are poor, but they are poor in a way, right? And that's because they have bad investment advice. They put all their eggs in one basket, like putting all their money in stocks or bond, things that will not actually grow their wealth, right? Today, the price of stock might go up, tomorrow it might go down, and they might lose all their money, right? So what can we do to protect that? So I'm not saying no, people should not put money in stock, but why not diversify into something that has more, that is not subject to the whims of the market? If you have the land, the fact that the stock market is going down today doesn't mean the value of your land is going down, right? And if you have real assets, if the value is going to go down, you see the handwriting on the wall. You can take action before that happens, right? That's why I felt, okay, this is where we want to stay. This is where we want to play, be able to do that, to be able to protect that investment for the long term, for intergenerational wealth, because that's the only way we can build that without having ownership. And I felt for us, we need to have ownership. Ownership, I keep talking about this with Victor. Ownership is important in our community, which is something we don't really focus on. We should focus a lot on ownership, which is what is driving me on this path.
It's so true. It's very important. So now if we look at Ascendi, what kind of challenges or barriers do you face in your work, and what are you doing to overcome them right now?
I think the main challenges that we are facing still is in terms of capacity. And when I say capacity, that means funding. Funding is the main challenge. I think if you have a good project, if you have a good asset, you can easily get money from the banks. But when you're doing a project, as you and I know, you need two sides of funding. You've got the equity portion and you got the debt portion. It's easier for you to get the debt portion, but the equity portion is not that easy for you to come by. So that's the main challenge that we face, because we see a lot of opportunities every day, but we can't take advantage of those opportunities because of limited equity. That's limited funding, down payment, whatever name you want to call it. That is what is lacking. And this takes me back to what we were talking about earlier in terms of ownership and having preservation of wealth and having, being able to build something. If you don't have something we are building on, we can't have access to that equity, right? So that's what we're trying to do as much as we can to build something that we can grow and be able to have excess equity that, then we see somebody else that doing something that we're trying to do, we can support them by investing in that deal, by investing in their project, because we've been able to build equity on our side. as well. So that's what we're trying to do here. So that's the main challenge we're having right now in terms of having access to that funding that we need to help us build that wealth within the community.
Absolutely. So do you have a key set of priorities that you're working on right now that you'd like to highlight?
Yeah. What do you mean by it, so that I get the question correctly? What do you mean by that?
Anything specific that you guys are working on right now that you'd like to draw attention to, and sort of let the community be aware of so that they can either join in, support, or take action?
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. So we are actually working on the fund right now. We're working on a $10 million fund, and we are targeting to buy car washes, self-storage, and agri campgrounds. Those are 3 asset classes that we're looking to raise these funds for. We think that there's huge opportunity in that space, considering that a lot of people are not looking in that space. So we can actually own that space as a community. So when you talk about, car washes, you want to talk about, this minority group, this Black people are the one that are in charge of this. Like if you look at the hotels, for instance, you find a lot of Asians, especially our Indian brothers, in the hotel space. But we don't have anything within our own community to say, okay, if you talk about this, you can say, okay, the Black community run this or own this space. But we are focusing on that. We are not trying to disrupt anybody, but we're just looking out for ourselves and now to build something for our own community. So those are the asset class that we're looking to acquire across Western Canada.
That's brilliant. And so how do you feel about the future of impact investing and venture capital in Canada?
I think the future is so bright. I think for the likes of me to be coming in, I've seen so many other people that are trying to do within the minority group that are trying to do, or even doing far better than what we are trying to do here. So I think the future is very bright. I think the next 5 to 10 years, it will be a different story entirely, what we're going to be seeing in the market, because I think people are becoming more audacious, more people are understanding that, okay, they've got to take action rather than reacting, but they have to be proactive, which is what some of us are doing right now. So I think this is a huge opportunity in the space right now for those of us that want to take action, to take that action now, because in the next 3 to 5 years, it's going to be difficult, really, I'll say, because we're going to have a lot of competitors at that point in time. So the market might be tough right now, but this is still the best time to take action.
That's great. So can you paint the picture and let us know what your ultimate goal is with Ascendi, and what does success look like for you and your colleagues?
What we are looking to do in the next 5 years to have at least a quarter of a billion under asset management. So what that means is that when you look at an asset under management, we are looking at a quarter of a billion, $250 million. That's our target for the next 5 years. We are nowhere close to that, but we know we can get there. With what we're working on right now, we know we can get there. We're trying to form some strategic partnership, but we are building it gradually. We are not saying, okay, we have it right now. We're building it step by step. So in the next 12 to 18 months, we're looking to acquire at least 5 to 6 assets in those asset classes I talked about, the car washes, the self-storage, the RV campgrounds. We're looking to do that. And once we get to that point, we build on that. So we know with the 10 million that we have other assets right now, but with 10 million on the fund that we're looking to do, with that 10 million, it's about 50 million assets under management without just 10 million, because that 10 million is just on the equity portion. Then we're going to have the debt portion. All together comes to what you have in terms of assets under management. So we know we can get to that 250 million in 5 years, but it's a gradual process. We are not trying to rush the process. We're going to go through the motion. Of course, there will be challenges along the way, but definitely with the skill set that we have, with the kind of people we have within our community and with that within our ecosystem, we know we will get there.
Oh, we love to see it. We're definitely rooting for you.
Thank you.
As you said, in the next 5 years.
Yeah.
Do you have any other closing thoughts or calls to action for our community?
Take action. Let's take action wherever it is that we find ourselves. Let's support each other. Let's find a way to, find a way to take action. It's not going to come knocking at our doors. We've got to go take it. It's not going to be handed to us. We've got to be, it's going to be risky. It's not safe. You can't play it safe if you want to grow wealth. You can't play it safe if you want to build something when you talk to generational wealth. If you look at everybody that's, that are successful right now, they took action. They weren't sitting back. You can't, comfort zone is not good you can't grow if you're sitting in your comfort zone. You've got to take action. It's going to be risky, but you have to take calculated risk. Don't just take risk blindly. It's got to be calculated. Ask questions from people within your community that could support you. If you find people that are toxic, they don't believe in what you're trying to do, don't stay within, move away from there. Just talk to people that understand and can support you. People are going to say no. You're going to hear a lot of no's. And you're going to hear a lot of people that are going to be more, it's as if they will discourage you. People will discourage you, but you've got to believe in yourself, what you want to do, what you're trying to achieve, and look for people that have done this and done it far better than you can even imagine. Try to associate yourself with them and learn from them. That's all I will say. I think that's the only way to learn. You learn by doing, but doing by taking calculated risk.
Very well said. So take calculated risk. Also know that you can't, take on everything that people are saying, and stay true to your goal.
Absolutely.
I love it. So we really appreciate you once again taking the time to do this interview, but more than anything, the remarkable work that you're doing with your colleagues at Ascendi. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
And we just want to close off the way we started by acknowledging the various stewards of the lands that we are on, as well as our ancestors and our elders, those whose shoulders we continue